Palestine has a special position in history. This area is constantly a place of struggle for power. To this day, the country that borders Asia and Africa is still characterized by conflict between Israel and Palestine. Historical narratives have stated that the initial conflict between Israel and Palestine began with the British Mandate in Palestine. This mandated area was formed after the Ottoman Empire lost World War I and the Arabs wanted independence from the Turks. To find out what Palestine was like during the rule of the Ottoman Empire, we go back to the Middle Ages. Since the final victory of the Crusades in 1302, the Mamluk Sultanate had been the sole ruler in Palestine. The Mamluk government sponsored school programs, stopping places for pilgrims, renovating houses. However, the center of government of the Palestinian region was not in Jerusalem. The Mamluk Empire made it part of the Damascus district. Palestine was still very vulnerable in the 1400s. Damascus, the district capital, was frequently attacked by Timurid of the Timurid Mongol Empire who ruled in Persia and Central Asia. Palestine was spared from Tamerlane's attack, but the impact was felt economically. Even though Tamerlane died in 1405, the threat to the Mamluks emerged from the west. A new power emerged, replacing the old enemy Mamluk Empire. The Seljuk Sultanate of Rum collapsed, and was replaced by the Ottoman Empire. The Anatolian Empire was known as Great, because it succeeded in controlling the Eastern European region. This does not mean that the Mamluks were a weak kingdom. The Mamluk Sultanate succeeded in protecting Palestine from the Mongols and European Christianity in various series of crusades. History brought together these two great Islamic empire powers in 1485, the Mamluks led by Saifuddin Kate Bey and the Ottoman Empire led by Selim I, son of Mehmed II. The Ottoman Empire succeeded in taking control of Palestine from the Mamluks, after winning the Battle of Marj Dabik in August 1514. At the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's rule in Palestine, not many changes were made. The administrative center is still based in Damascus, then followed by Acre, now Akko, Israel, and Sidon, which is now the Old City in Lebanon. The Palestinian area was protected by the Ottoman Empire. When Napoleon Bonaparte began his campaign towards Egypt, the Ottoman Empire with British help defended Palestine in 1799. The success of the Ottoman Empire and Britain hindered Napoleon, making Egypt take a role in Palestine. At that time, the authority who played a very important role was Muhammad Ali Pasha, the young king of Egypt who ruled over Sudan. In 1831, Muhammad Ali Pasha occupied Palestine, which at that time had its administrative center in Acre. He, along with his son Ibrahim Pasha, modernized his government by opening the state to Western influences. This modernization process was also driven by reforms carried out by Sultan Ottoman Mahmud II, who ruled from 1808 to 1839. This openness makes Palestine increasingly a modern, diverse place. Various Christian missionaries can carry out their activities more easily, including establishing schools. However, Muhammad Ali's control as Pasha of this autonomous province of the Ottoman Empire was enormous, like establishing his own country. This increasing influence encouraged Egypt to revolt to get rid of the power of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire government under Sultan Abdul Majid together with Britain, Austria and Russia, forced Egypt to withdraw in 1840. This resistance made the Egyptian Pasha return to his authority in Egypt and Sudan, while Palestine was administered directly from Constantinople. The results of Egypt Ottoman made European countries take an interest in Palestine. Many countries opened consulates in Jerusalem and Palestinian port cities. In the same year as Palestine was returned to the Ottoman Empire, Sultan Abdul-Majid implemented gradual reforms in Palestine. He increased security in the villages. This reform created the land law in 1858. The Palestinian area is divided into 3 districts, namely Nablus, Acre and Jerusalem districts. Nablus and Acre are administratively under Ilayat, namely the province of Beirut, while Jerusalem runs autonomously under mandate from Constantinople. Entering the 20th century, the Ottoman Empire experienced political upheaval. The Arabs throughout the Ottoman Empire began to initiate nationalist movements, wanting independence. This period is known as the Arab Awakening. When World War I broke out, European countries, except Germany and Hungary who were allies of the Ottoman Empire, began discussing power sharing. They planned to divide the Middle East into Britain, Russia, France and Italy in the 1916 Sykes-Picot Agreement. The Arabs placed their hopes on England to support their nationalist movement. Arab Palestinians believe that mediation on the Palestinian issue can be resolved through correspondence between the Emir of Makkah Hussein bin Ali and the British Commissioner in Egypt, Henry McMahon. The correspondence promised independence for the Arab people who helped fight the Ottoman Empire. Thus, the power of the Ottoman Empire was increasingly reduced. Britain, based on the Sykes-Picot Agreement, came to power in Palestine. From here, today's chapter of Palestinian chaos began. The Balfour Declaration was launched in 1917, which supported the large migration of Jews from Europe and the US to Palestine. Since 1900, many Jews from Europe began to migrate to Palestine. This was also strongly opposed by the Arabs in Palestine. The Zionist colony grew even more, due to the Rothschild family's very high subsidies in 1918. The majority of immigrant Jews lived in the city, creating a social class divide with Arabs. It can be seen here that England was playing two-legged between the Arabs and the Zionist movement. Political historians argue, however, that the Balfour Declaration was intended to encourage American and Russian Jews to encourage their respective governments to support British post-war policies. In 1920, the British Mandate of Palestine was established. The Ottoman Empire collapsed 2 years later, followed by the Turkish nationalist movement. A chapter of endless conflict in the Holy Land began.